Okay, this is a video for the JQ Audio 4U. That's the name, 4U. It's a single dynamic driver, 10mm beryllium. Beryllium is something that I'm a fan of because its potential that doesn't always achieve that. Matter of fact, the pure beryllium seems to be something I'm not a fan of, but the coating seems to be something I am. This is a quick look at the graph. It's got elevated bass. Part of the benefit of the beryllium that it stiffens the diaphragm and it makes it so that you can have an elevated bass and you don't necessarily sometimes get a penalty across the mids and the treble where you get a sense of haze or veil, and it will diminish the replay of everything that exists beyond the low frequency. That's something that some drivers, especially ones that are just typical PET Mylar, which is something that's maybe similar to a plastic Coca-Cola bottle that you get at any convenience store. It's a derivative and very similar to that. Put a coating, a spray, or otherwise a beryllium on top of that, and you can get better performance. I'm doing this video because, in fact, this set does do that. I want to get a closer look real quick. I just got back onto Twitter, just because it's probably a good idea to do so. I can do like this. This is what it looks like. It looks kind of like looks like the Mystique L3, but it's gold and silver. It actually looks nice, I think. It's got a good cable that looks like the other tribrid that they have, the Huajian. Looks like the exact same cable with the same little clip on it. So that looks fine. Go ahead and drop that down. The treble, all the way from the late mids, nothing gets above 7, but it's got energy around 5 to 6, and then it's got energy at 8. It's not. The energy at 8 is almost lined up with the mids. There's some things about this that's like the Belon, but a little tamer in the peaks. It's not the same thing, but this plays cymbals like a fucking boss, and it plays the sound of sticks hitting skin, drum kits very well. It plays vocals very well. So I'll get into the music. The graph doesn't jump out at me in any bad way, and it actually looks kind of appealing, and that plays out in the music. Looking down without jarring and moving my head too quickly, I wrote down "Wish You Were Here." A minute or 0 timestamp to 42 seconds is pretty much right channel only. It sounds like there's somebody's watching a TV. This is only on your right side. And then at 42 seconds, is that somebody clearing their throat? You can comment below if you want. I'm not really sure. There's a little moment there where the person that's going to do the solo, which is David Gilmour, becomes present. I'm sure they did all this on purpose because they were very good in the studio. And then from 42 to 129, and then it goes into the full. So you think you can tell heaven from hell, blue skies from pain? Can you tell a green field from a cold steel rail, a smile from a veil? Do you think you can tell? I'm pretty sure that's how that goes. Grew up listening to the song millions of times. Love it. Sounded fantastic. But this is where I ended, actually, right here. Turn the page and go backwards, and we can go ahead and see where I started. I think the low frequency performance on this is excellent. I think the star of the show might be the treble. It just sounds so good on the cymbals that I'm used to listening to, including No More, No More by Aerosmith. And the timestamp for that is 7 seconds and 13 seconds, so the first 2 significant strikes. And when I listened to the P2 yesterday, or 2 days ago, that instantly jumped out as not ideal. Steven Tyler sounded good. It was very resolving. Piano sounded clear. The cymbals sounded, and then I got into a discussion with that. On this set, the reason I'm doing this video is because it's about $140 to $150. 1111's coming up, and if this thing goes on sale, I'm trying to find the things that you might want to consider. The Tape Pro, I'm very much hoping is something to consider. We'll see when it comes in. I've listened to several IMs that I haven't made any comments about or taken any pictures of because they graph really bad and I'm not going to wreck them, and there's no sense in wasting time between now. I can do them after 1111. Right now is to get out the stuff. My job as a reviewer is to review gear. I choose between now and 1111 to choose the stuff that I like, and maybe it's going to be a wreck. I can put time into other stuff later. People say, where's that review for such and such? The Fearless Audio Tequila, That is a set that will probably come after 1111 because it's not a set that I will wreck. So I don't need to elaborate and waste a day and a video to talk about that. I can do that after 1111, and I will, but that's not a set that I'll be wrecking. This is a set that I will, and hopefully we'll be comparing it to the Tape Pro. Low frequency is good. The mids are good. The treble is good. Cymbals on this sounded absolutely fantastic. Can't Find My Way Home by Blind Faith. Guitar by Eric Clapton. Vocals by Steve Winwood. Ginger Baker's in there. Rich Groach. Oh, God, did I just blow that? If I did, some people are going to come bombing in here. Anyway, super group that lasted for an album. There's a story about Ginger Baker, a video out there. Rest in peace to him, too. Fantastic. The guy was a madman. He used to do drum battles with jazz drummers and anybody out there who would challenge him. Like a MMA fighter. Ginger Baker did that with drums. There's albums out there of just drum battles. African drums, everything. The guy was nuts. In an awesome way. But he scared the crap out of Eric Clapton. Eric Clapton didn't want to be anywhere near him because he was a very intense fella. So, moving right along. Next thing I went to was Elton John. So nothing is coming out of the low frequency that doesn't sound ideal. Nothing in the vocals is coming out. I listened to Dire Straits too. It sounded brilliant. But let's go ahead and look at some music here. This is Captain Fantastic. I listened to 2 tracks off of this album. One was Philadelphia Freedom. Philadelphia Freedom, shine on me. Love this track. The drums in this sounded notable, excellent. Like the contact with the skins, it sounded very, very nice. Loved it. And Elton John's vocals sounded good, so I decided to go to Someone Saved My Life Tonight. I'm not going to sing. Never mind. 2-minute 19, the drums really enter this track. This is a very slow, gradual intro into this song. Very, very slow. Very, very paced, and it really gets to moving along at about the 2-minute 19-second timestamp. And I know that, and I'm waiting for it. And as soon as it comes in, I thought, this sounds dope. Next track I went into was Kashmir. I went into Kashmir and also Massive Attack. Oh, actually, I went into All Along the Watchtower, too. All Along the Watchtower, we have women with breasts on the cover right here, so we got to take a look at that. All Along the Watchtower, I mentioned because there's some gear that sounds almost low res, and this sounds the same all the way through. There's other gear that sounds better than that, and it sounds like at 1:59, because I time-stamped it today, right when the slide guitar, or what sounds like a slide guitar comes in. You never know what Jimi Hendrix is actually doing. I'd have to take a look at this on video and see how he performed it live. It sounds like the master quality is improved right when he starts to do, I think there's 3 solos in this. Bob Dylan saw, I believe, this live and said that this was Jimi's song now. Like he played it the way I guess Bob Dylan approved of and liked it a lot and said that's the way that song should be done. Then I believe there's 3 solos, and one of them is when this song really kind of takes off and sounds much better. And that's related to the quality of the transducer, because stuff that sounds meh or average, it just sounds like a almost lo-fi replay all the way through. And this is a good copy. This is a FLAC Jimi Hendrix Circulator in UK edition. It sounds good. Sounds best on planar. It's a kind of a res check. I thought that this sounded good. This is Beryllium doing its job, which is playing everything back, including low frequency stuff. And there's a lot going on with this, the bassist. It's not a great mix, but it actually sounds good. So I thought that was something that I should write down. Kashmir and Massive Attack. Don't Bob Head written down. I'm going to go ahead and jump to Ozzy. Blizzard of Oz. D. This is Randy Rhoads. It's like an outtake of him practicing and doing. He was a classical guitarist, trained classical guitarist, and he was doing something similar to that. And you can hear the finger slides and the pulls and the plucks. It's very short. It's kind of a OCD check, and everything checked out very nice. And then I just let it glide into Suicide Solution, and it's kind of like Genesis and Armageddon and nothing in the middle. Like D, this beautiful thing, and I enjoyed that too. This was nice, and I ended up getting to wish you were here, listening to that moment at 42 seconds, and thought, just do the video. The bass sounds good, the mids sound good, the treble sounds really good, actually. I think I'll do 3 stars across the board for right now. This is something that should get into the video vault, and then when people say, how does this sound compared to the Tape Pro? How does this sound compared to the Shozy 1.1, which is also a Beryllium driver plus 1BA? This is a set that would be, I would want to put in competition with other sets known and approaching. So this video gets put on the channel. Be on the lookout, a bolo for this set, and maybe if it's at a good price, because I think it's a good set. It comes in a big box. It's got a lot of stuff with it. Not a lot of stuff with it. It's got a good cable. It's got a nice, good size cover. It's not real leather. Who really cares? But it's plenty big. And one thing about the Thea Claire, which I love and is in my est here, that it barely fits in its own case. This is for, you could put 2 in here. So that's it. I'll keep today short. This is a set to keep an eye on, and between now and 11/11, I'm only going to be doing videos with stuff that I think is worthy of consideration, and stuff that I'm not really a fan of will come after 11/11. There's only 2 weeks really to go, so I don't want to. I'm a reviewer. I pick what I want to review, and I like what I like, and what I don't like, the stuff that I dislike, I can do that at another time. There's no point in doing that right now. I'll do it later. Seriously, that set right there, that Moondrop Illumination, is a nice set, and it's a single dynamic driver done well. Hybrids are difficult to get done well. My 2 customs are hybrids. One's a 4-way, one's a 3-way, and they're special in their own way. They're the exception to the rule. There's usually a sense of being able to tell that there is a driver, and that driver is taking care of the low frequency, where I would prefer to not be subconsciously aware of different drivers taking care of different stuff. The EJ07 and the MEST both just play back the music, and I am not really thinking that there's multiple drivers in there. But there's lots of sets where I know I can hear it very, very easily. So this is a single dynamic driver that has no issues like that. It's affordable, and it should be considered, in my opinion, and I will be doing a video for it and other things that I think are worthy just before 11/11. So thank you for your time. And pictures from this channel will start to go up on my Twitter. Had issues with Twitter before. It's been resolved, so I'm going to go ahead and start doing that. So if you ever watch a video like, could I see a close-up of it? Sure. How about there? Look at that. Holy crap. Ooh, Jesus. That's beautiful. So, on a 55-inch screen, yeah, I can show you close-ups. And I'm out. You're out. We're both out.